She has her secrets and she teaches us to grow. She moves and sprouted through the darkness below. So you may know when your heart is resting there, she will provide for you her tender grace and care. For we all know as below, so above, everyone gather round the tree of love. For we all know as below, so above, everyone surrender now at the tree of love.
As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice to unite us in worship. It reminds us of our ongoing search for the light of truth within us and among us. The chalice is also a light to guide us on our shared journey and a reminder that we are all interconnected in the great web of existence of which we are each a beloved part. As we light our shared chalice, I invite those on Zoom to light your home chalice. Joe, would you like to come help us today? Thank you, with the chalice lighting. Thank you. I invite you to join in the words for the chalice lighting, which will be on this screen. This is from James Villa Blake. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
This morning's story comes from Matt de la Peña, and it is called Love. In the beginning, there is light, and two wide-eyed figures standing near the foot of your bed, and the sound of their voices is love. A cab driver plays softly on his radio while you bounce in the back with the bumps of the city, and everything smells new, and it smells like life. Love, too, is the smell of crashing waves and a train whistling blindly in the distance. And each night, the sky above your trailer turns the color of love. In a crowded concrete park, you toddle towards summer sprinklers while older kids skip rope and run up the slide. And soon you are running among them, and the echo of your laughter is love. On the night the fire alarm blares, you're pulled from sleep and whisked into the street where a quiet old lady is pointing to the sky. Stars shine long after they've flamed out, she tells you, and the shine they shine with is love. But it's not only stars that flame out, you discover. It's summers too, and friendships and people. And one day, you find your family nervously huddled around the TV, but when you ask what happened, they answer with silence and shift between you and the screen. In your dream that night, you are searching for love that seems lost. You open and close doors, you lift cushions, empty old toy bins, but there is nothing. You wake with a start, but you are in the arms of a loved one who bends to your ear and whispers, "It's okay. It's okay, love." And in time, you learn to recognize a love overlooked, a love that wakes at dawn and rides to work on the bus, a slice of burnt toast that tastes a lot like love. And it's love in each deep crease of your grandfather's face as he lowers himself onto an overturned bucket to fish. And it's love rustling leaves of gnarled trees lined behind the flower fields. And it's love in the made-up stories your uncles tell in the backyard between horseshoe throws. And the man in rags outside the subway station plays love notes that lift into the sky like tiny beacons of light. And the face staring back in the mirror, this too is love. So when the time comes for you to set out, heavy winds may sweep past your building, and great gray clouds may congregate above. Your loved ones will stand like puddles beneath their umbrellas, holding you tight, kissing you, wishing you luck. But it won't be luck that you leave with, because you will have love. You will have love, love, love. I wonder where the child in this story is headed. What adventure or simple day-to-day task awaits? Is there a cause to fight for where she is going? Is there love needed where she is headed? I like to think that this child is setting out into the world to make it a better place. And I wonder how she will bring love with her. And of course then, I wonder about you and how you will bring love into the world today. Let's sing our children to their Justice January classes, which will be located in Fessenden Hall today.
You are the light of our lives. You are our hope for the future. Your song fills the air with the love that we share. So thank you. You are the light of our lives. You are our hope for the future. Your song fills the air with the love that we share. So thank you.
As a community that holds one another in love and cares for one another, we take time to share our lives with each other. This morning, some of us have come to worship with sorrows, with struggles and losses we're carrying. We'll share those now. If you're on Zoom and have a sorrow, loss, or struggle to share, please use the chat box. Vivian shares with us that we remember Alta Orsburn of Kent, who died at the age of 94. She was Brett's mother and Heidi's mother-in-law. We're holding you, Heidi, and your family and her family as you remember her. And Heidi shares with us that her son Connor lost 2 grandmothers within the last week. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Grandma Alta Osborne and Holly's grandmother, they were both in their 90s. Once again, this community is holding you with love and care as you grieve. Mike shares that my family is experiencing many challenges and struggles. Sorry, no, you're held by love and by this community as you face whatever's happening. Adelicia Raven, Luna Black Raven, requests prayers for her health. We're holding you in love and care in this difficult time, and prayers for all the people of Gaza. Let's take a moment and pray for peace in our world. Gaza, in Ukraine, in our country, everywhere. Let's pray for peace. Atticus says the whole family is sick this week. Atticus, we're holding you and your family in our hearts as you recover. The Bond family asked for prayers for my brother Jeremy and his family. Their cat Luna died this week. Loss of a four-legged is hard. We're holding you as you grieve. John sends up prayers for me. Thank you. Nora asked for prayers for my friend in the hospital with liver issues. At the moment, let's hold these sorrows, these struggles, these losses, the illnesses. Would you join me now in the spirit of prayer with these words from the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage? Spirit of life, eternal mystery, we come to this space with the challenges and sorrows of our lives wringing our thoughts, all that we have left undone, relationships that may be frayed or fraught, the pressures of life, work and home hunching our spirits and bringing us down, things, people, and places that are breaking our hearts. Beloved mystery, hold us close and whisper into our hearts that another world is possible, one beyond our imagination that we are building together, one prayer at a time, one hopeful declaration at a time, one act of forgiveness and grace at a time, one extension of care and compassion at a time. May we embrace today the wisdom that love is enough, care is enough, patience and service are enough. The rest is mystery, and may that be enough. Our lives have been blessed with joy, with wonder, with moments that have lifted our spirits. If you're on Zoom and have a joy to share, please use the chat box. Dana shares with us that my father's heart valve replacement was a success. Yay, that's good news. And we'll continue to hold him and all of you in prayer and hope for a good recovery. Lori says, yesterday I had the great joy of reconnecting with my nephew, who I haven't seen for 7 years. Yay. Yay. I want to share the joy of witnessing this week how this community holds one another in such love and care, and you're really here for one another. Thank you. And now, would you join me in a heart-centered meditation? You're welcome to participate as you're comfortable. Let's be comfortable in your seats and just breathe. Let life's cleansing air in. And just focus on breathing. As you do, you're welcome to close your eyes as you're comfortable. I invite you to place your hands over your heart center with your thumbs touching. As you continue to breathe deeply, bring your awareness to your heart center, that place within you where love is found. This is the source of love for myself. This is your source of love for yourself. Feel within your heart center that love for yourself an unconditional, all-embracing love for you just as you are. This heart space is the source of love for others as well. I invite you to feel within your heart center your love for others that come to mind in this moment. That same unconditional, all-embracing love. I invite you to imagine that your heart is so filled with love that it cannot be contained. Open up, let it flow out into the world that so desperately needs that love you have to give. And imagine the world filled with that love. And as you're sharing that love with the world, I invite your heart to be filled with gratitude too. Thank you for the love that is unconditional for you, for me, for each, for all. This is the love that brings healing and wholeness. This is the love that embraces and sustains every one of us, and it will never let us go. Now I'd like to ask Emily to continue our heart meditation by leading us in the chant.
And there's 3 parts, so we'll start with the low voices and add them in, and you can join in where you feel comfortable. The words are open, my heart.
Open my heart, 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 open my heart.
Listen.
Open my heart, 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 open my heart,
Our first reading this morning, The Gift of Liberating Love, is from Soul Matters. Love, it sits in the chest, at least at the start. It's what makes our heart beat again after being broken, and our lungs breathe again after being closed off in the dark for far too long. For some, it came in the form of our grandfather's eyes, which saw us as carriers of something bigger and more precious and older than our little bodies discovered. For others, it arrived as we pressed hard against our mother's warm skin and heard a speechless whisper say, "We can always come home." We recognize love as the thing that allowed us to finally remove our masks, or that which said, "I don't want you to take it off until you are ready." We were taught love by those who arrived in the midst of our fear and shook as we shook, instead of simply trying to make our trembling stop. But here is the secret, the inevitable awakening, the wonder that each of our lives is meant to reveal. Love doesn't just love us, it asks us to become it. That's why those metaphors of comforting quilts which wrap us in their warmth will never do. True love is always a thunderstorm that cracks us clean open so the echoes of other breaking hearts can make their way in. Yes, it wants us to be whole and strong, but love's deepest longing is that we will use that strength to tear down the structures that leave others bloodied and bruised. We must always remember what Selma's prophet of peace regularly preached. Love and power are always rightly wed. And maybe this is where the second secret comes loose. As I shake the walls and let others free, I learn that the ones I've liberated include me. And our second reading is On a Day When the World Has Its Way with Me by Rosemary Watola Traumer. Like every other day, today it is apparent that only love will save us. Not in the grandiose, abstract way, but in the alarming, specific way. As in forgiveness now. As in choosing to hug instead of fighting back. As in taking 3 deep breaths before saying something we regret. It saves us from thirsting in the desert of our lives, but only if we save it first by choosing it. Now in this moment of angry words, now in this moment of clenched thoughts, now in this moment when we'd rather taste venom, but instead we pour love into our cup and bring it to our lips and drink until once again, it is only love that makes sense, only love that refills the cup.
Growing up, I was a rebellious child who wanted to do things my way, and I enjoyed breaking rules. I'm sure that comes as a total surprise to you. By the age of 10, though, my father was so frustrated with my behavior and I was so hard to deal with that he gave up. He didn't know what to do to get through to me, and in return, I shut him out. I couldn't wait to leave home, and 2 weeks after I graduated from high school, I joined the Navy. After 2 years of endless rules and regulations and conforming, yeah, you can imagine how that went. I was done, and I came home. Dad made efforts. He tried to tell me he loved me, but it felt conditional, and I refused to believe it. After we had been estranged for 25 years, I yearned to heal my relationship with him, even though I was scared he might reject me. I took the risk of love. I reached out. It wasn't easy. He knew I was gay, and he was clear that he didn't understand it or like it. When he told me that, I said, I don't need you to understand it or even like it. I need you to love me just as I am. It took some time, but love won. I nurtured the relationship. I visited him regularly. I got to know a man who had changed and become more gentle, far less critical. My first partner and I could eventually show up at family events together, be ourselves, and Dad treated my partner as a member of the family. In your life, is there someone who was important to you who didn't love you unconditionally or accept you as you are? If so, I'm sorry. It's painful. It's traumatic. And you don't deserve to have been treated with anything less than unconditional love, or to carry messages inside you that are anything less, that you are anything less than a beautiful human being worthy of love and acceptance. If you were fortunate enough to grow up in a loving, accepting home, you have still been subjected to some kind of trauma because of external social control. Factors like white supremacy, capitalism, ableism, heteronormativity, sexism, body shape, and all the other isms that tell us we're not good enough as we are. Things that get in the way of us being able to love ourselves and let others love us and accept us just as we are. Even many churches have a culture of being rigid and judgmental and setting unrealistic expectations. Perhaps you were part of a congregation where you weren't able to be your true self. But not in this church. Not in this house where we defy our culture's demands for conformity, where we offer our space to be our authentic selves and to share who we really are with others. This is a place where you are welcomed and you are seen as beautiful, lovable, capable, worthy, and a child of God, celebrated for your unique identity, your gifts, your creativity, and your shared humanity. And this is a workshop where we learn to love as well as let ourselves be loved. If that's what you experience here, and I hope so, I so hope so, we're living up to our vision of being a people of radical inclusion and unconditional love, which is what Unitarian Universalism is at its best. Both Unitarians and Universalists were liberal Christians. They weren't interested in worshiping Jesus, but in living out his message of liberating, inclusive, healing love. This radical love, a love that can set us free, is still the heart of our theology. Reverend Tess Baumberger says, "This love is not sentimental love or romantic love. It is the love we grow in our communities, a deep and abiding love that affirms our worth no matter what we do or don't achieve or believe." She goes on to say, "This love is a belief in ourselves and in one another that nothing can rip apart. This love affirms our interdependence. It is a love that says we all deserve to be loved, whether we have been hurt or have hurt others." She concludes with, "It is a fierce, protective, and liberating love." It is a love that saves us in the truest sense of the word salvation, bringing healing and wholeness in this life, allowing us to be who we are and not have to hide behind masks or pretenses. There's more to the story of my relationship with my father. I was at peace when he died, knowing we'd done the work we needed to do of healing, giving each other the unconditional love that allowed us to be ourselves, and being set free. I didn't need to hide who I am any longer or pretend to be someone I'm not. I'll be honest, I also did a lot of work in therapy during that time because I had to learn to love, trust, and respect myself, give myself permission to be myself, and then make the choice to love, to open myself up to others, and to give them the space and the grace to be themselves. It's been a long journey, and I'm still learning to love. We are all still learning to love, but we know how. It's our birthright as human beings. You have the gifts inside you that you need to be able to love. The heart meditation embrace the love inside you, to know that there is more than enough love in your heart to share with others. And you have this community to help you too. This morning, nothing I've told you is new. It's a reminder to keep loving in all your unique ways, whether large or small, with forgiveness, saying I'm sorry when you need to, with hugs instead of harsh words, with kindness and compassion, with not just acceptance, but celebration of each other's diversity and gifts and creativity. But loving doesn't stop with our personal relationships. Our sixth principle speaks of the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. We've just celebrated Christmas. We told the story of a baby born to change the world with liberating love. We heard the angel's song of peace and goodwill, announcing that the kingdom of God is coming. Empire, injustice, and oppression have been put on notice. Love will win. A love that makes a powerful claim on our lives. In the first reading, you heard these words. True love is always a thunderstorm that cracks us clean open so that the echoes of other breaking hearts can make their way in. Yes, love wants us to be whole and strong, but love's deepest longing is that we will use that strength to tear down the structures that leave others bloodied and bruised. This love is calling us to create heaven on earth, to love, to trust and respect ourselves first of all, and then to open our hearts to do that with others, transforming their lives through unconditional love and acceptance, and using love's strength to tear down any system that prevents all of us from living fully and being loved. Love has its risks. People hurt each other, often unintentionally. We reject others and are rejected. We're held back by fear. Our hearts get broken again and again. But as I learned with my father and countless other relationships, and I continue to learn in this community with you, taking the risk to open my heart to love is worth it. It's worth the love I receive in return, the love that sets all of us free. Free to be ourselves. Free to live the abundant, beautiful, fulfilling life, part of the divine vision which Jesus and other great prophets spoke and invite us to help create. So I wonder, how will you live out your love in the coming week, in the coming month, in the coming year, for the rest of your life? And I wonder, how will you be changed by love? How will you be love? Let's take a moment of silence together.
Love invites us to express our gratitude for all that we have by giving as we are able. If you give financially to the life and ministry of this church, thank you. If you give of your heart, your time, and your talent, thank you.
To those to help others in our community thrive, we also give to agencies and organizations that serve those in need. January's special offering was chosen by us, the kids, to benefit UNICEF USA.
UNICEF USA is committed to living out diversity, racial equity, and belonging. UNICEF USA works all over the world to protect, advocate, and educate children. Their mission is to relentlessly pursue a more equitable world for every child. And they do this by
feeding the hungry, fighting for the rights of all children, providing health care, and protecting the environment.
We hope that you will give to UNICEF USA as we, the children of this church, commit to supporting their work through action and education in our RE classes.
To give to UNICEF USA, please use the white envelopes and write special offering on it and place it in the offering basket. If you are writing a check, please write special offering on the memo line so that your gift is counted. Thank you for helping us to build a better world.
The offering will now be gratefully received.
Love invites us to express
Been around the world, traveled endlessly, people hurting people is all I ever seen. Abuse of authority, it's getting hard to breathe. When they speak of equality, it's getting hard to believe. What would it take for us to love now? What would it take to let our guards down? No, we can change 'cause we know how. What would it take for us to love now? To love now, to love now, to love now. To love now, to love now. What would it take for us to love now? Held back by our anger, shackled by our pain, but we can find our glory. We can break these chains. The world is still ours. This we can proclaim. All we've got is each other. All we've got is today. And what would it take for us to love now? What would it take to let our guards down? I know it's not too late, I know we know how. What would it take for us to love now? To love now, to love now, to love now. Oh, to love now, to love now. What would it take for us to love now? What would it take for us to love now? What would it take to let our guards down? It isn't too late, I know we know how. What would it take for us to love now? To love now, to love now, to love now. Oh, to love now, to love now. What would it take for us to love now? To love now.
Thank you for a perfect ascending question to take with us this morning. What will it take for us to love now? As we wonder, would you join me in bringing our worship to its close by extinguishing the chalice? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. And we carry these in our hearts and minds until we are together again.
And we send you now with these words from James Baldwin. The longer I live, the more deeply I learn that love, whether we call it friendship or family or romance, is the work of mirroring and magnifying each other's light. Gentle work. Steadfast work. Life-saving work in those moments when life and shame and sorrow occlude our own light from our view, but there is still a clear-eyed, loving person to beam it back. In our best moments, we are that person for another.
And now, trusting in love's power to set us free, renewed in our commitment to be a community of unconditional love where we are all accepted and loved and included just as we are, and ready to share this love with the world, let us go forth to continue inspiring love, working for justice, and growing in community. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. And I do see love's light in all of you.